Hey there, I'm Sarah Johnson. I am 32, single mom, and absolutely smitten with my 5-year-old daughter, Emily. We live in a small, cozy house out in the suburbs. It's nothing fancy, but it's ours. I work as a real estate agent, balancing the chaos of my job with the even crazier chaos of being a mom. It's tough, but somehow we manage. Now let me tell you about the real thorn in my side, my ex, Mark, and his overbearing mother, Barbara. Where do I even start? If Barbara shows up uninvited to one more of Emily's school events, I swear, I'm going to lose it. I vented to my best friend, Lisa, over coffee one morning. Lisa rolled her eyes. That woman needs a hobby, one that doesn't involve meddling in your life. You're telling me, I said with a sigh. And Mark? He just lets her get away with everything, like he's still a clueless teenager instead of a grown man with a kid. My thoughts drifted back to our marriage, a disaster from day one. Finding out he was cheating was bad enough, but the real kicker was Barbara blaming me for it. Can you believe that? At least David's been understanding through all this craziness, I said, referring to my boss. I don't know how I would manage without his support. Not many bosses would be cool with me ducking out for emergency custody hearings. You're lucky, Lisa replied. Most jobs would never allow that kind of flexibility. I glanced at my watch and groaned. Shoot, I've got to run. Emily's got her dance recital tonight. As I drove to pick her up from school, that familiar, gnawing anxiety returned. Ever since the divorce, I'd gone all out on home security. Top-of-the-line system, cameras, even a panic room. Sounds over the top, right? But with Mark and Barbara acting the way they had lately, I wasn't taking any chances. When I pulled up, there was Emily, my little ray of sunshine, her pigtails bouncing as she ran toward the car. Mommy, guess what? I got a gold star in math today, she announced proudly as she climbed in. That's amazing, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you. Are you ready for your big performance tonight? The drive home was filled with chatter about her day, and I couldn't help but smile as she practiced her dance moves from her car seat. No matter the drama with Mark or Barbara, Emily was my world. I'd do anything to keep her safe and happy. Back home, the usual evening routine kicked in. Homework, dinner, and getting ready for the recital. Helping Emily into her tutu, I couldn't help but smile. These were the moments that made it all worth it. You're going to be the most beautiful ballerina up there, I said, adjusting her tiny tiara. Even prettier than Lily, she asked, eyes wide. I laughed, way prettier. But remember, it's not about being the prettiest, it's about having fun and doing your best, okay? She nodded solemnly before breaking into a giggle as I tickled her. On our way out the door, I took one last glance at the security panel. All set, cameras on, alarms armed. Probably overkill, but better safe than sorry, right? Later that night, after the recital, I finally had the house to myself. Emily was at her first sleepover with her best friend from dance class, and I was trying not to be that mom who calls every 5 minutes to check in. I poured myself a glass of wine and settled onto the couch, ready to binge watch the series everyone had been raving about. But before I could start, I decided to check my voicemails. That's when I heard it. Barbara's voice, shrill and conspiratorial, not meant for my ears. Mark, honey, I've got it all planned out. When you pick up Emily next weekend, we'll head straight to the airport. I've already booked tickets to Arizona. By the time Sarah realizes what's happened, we'll be long gone. Emily will be so much better off with us, away from her manipulative mother. My heart stopped. I must have replayed that message 5 times, hands trembling more with each listen. This couldn't be real. They were planning to take Emily away from me, my baby. I don't even remember dialing Rachel's number, but suddenly my lawyer's voice was on the other end. Sarah, what's wrong? It's nearly 10 p.m. Rachel, I gasped, barely holding back tears. They're going to take Emily, Barbara, and Mark. I have proof, a voicemail. What do I do? My voice cracked as I explained everything. Okay, Sarah, listen carefully, Rachel said, her tone firm. Do not delete that voicemail. We need to preserve it as evidence. Write down everything you remember, every detail. First thing tomorrow, we're going to the police. Tomorrow. But what if they try something tonight? I asked, my voice shaky. Emily's safe at her sleepover, right? They can't do anything right now, and we need to approach this carefully to make sure it sticks. Rachel's voice remained calm but firm. Exactly. They can't act tonight. What we need to do is make sure everything is handled properly. In the meantime, call your friend Lisa. You shouldn't be alone right now. I nodded, then realized she couldn't see me. Okay, thanks, Rachel. 20 minutes later, Lisa burst through the door with a bottle of wine and a fire in her eyes. Those bastards. She fumed after I played her the voicemail. I always knew Barbara was crazy, but this is a whole new level. Fueled by adrenaline and fear, I began digging through old emails, texts, and every strange incident over the past year. It was as if a fog had lifted, and suddenly, everything started to make sense. Lisa, look at this, I said, pulling up photos on my phone. Remember when Emily came back from that visit with her hair cut short? Barbara said Emily had gum stuck in it, but look at this photo from the day before. Her hair was perfectly fine. I showed Lisa the images, my heart pounding. They cut her hair to look more like Mark's sister's kid. Lisa leaned in, eyes wide. Oh my God, you're right. And what about the time Emily kept talking about going to the zoo? Mark said they stayed at his mom's, but... She paused, eyes widening. They've been taking her places during supervised visits, probably telling her to keep it a secret. The realization hit me like a truck. How did I not see this before? Lisa grabbed my hand, her grip firm. This is not your fault. You're seeing it now, and we're going to stop them. I nodded, trying to believe her as I compiled everything into a folder. Screenshots, photos, notes. My heart raced with a mix of terror and determination. They weren't going to take my daughter. Not now, not ever. I should call and check on Emily, I said, reaching for my phone. Lisa gently took it from me. It's 2 a.m., Sarah. She's fine. You'll just wake her up, and right now, we need to focus on keeping you calm and getting this evidence in order. She was right, but every fiber of my being wanted to rush over and scoop Emily into my arms. Instead, I took a deep breath and turned back to my laptop. We had work to do. By morning, I was a bundle of nerves, jumping at every noise. When the doorbell rang, my heart stopped. I opened the door to find Mark and Barbara, all fake smiles and forced cheerfulness. We're here for Emily, Mark said, attempting to step inside. She's not ready yet, I lied, blocking the entrance. Why don't you wait outside? Barbara's eyes narrowed. Nonsense. We'll wait inside. Her voice rose as she called out, Emily, sweetie. Grandma's here. I felt sick as Emily ran to the door, her little backpack slung over her shoulder. Daddy, Grandma, she squealed, oblivious to the tension. Mark's voice dripped with false charm. Hey, pumpkin, ready for our big weekend? That's when I saw it, the glint in his eye. Something dark, something dangerous. Actually, Emily forgot something upstairs, I blurted, scooping her up. We'll be right back. I bolted up the stairs, Emily clutched tightly in my arms. Behind me, I heard Mark's footsteps pound up the stairs. Sarah, what the hell do you think you're doing? He shouted. Mommy, what's wrong? Emily asked, her voice small and confused. I didn't answer. I raced to the panic room, my hands trembling as I shoved the door shut just as Mark reached the top of the stairs. Sarah, open this goddamn door. He bellowed, pounding on the steel barrier. Emily whimpered in my arms. It's okay, baby, I whispered, fumbling for my phone. We're just playing a little game. My fingers shook as I dialed 911. Please, I gasped to the operator, my ex-husband and his mother are trying to kidnap my daughter. We're barricaded in my panic room, but I don't know how long the door will hold. Outside, I could hear Barbara's shrill voice. Mark, find something to break down this door. We're not leaving without Emily. Emily started to cry, clutching my shirt. Mommy, I'm scared. Why is Daddy so mad? I kissed the top of her head, trying to calm my racing heart. It's okay, sweetie. I'm here. We're safe. The operator's voice was calm and steady. Stay on the line, ma'am. Help is on the way. The minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Mark's pounding, Barbara's screeching, Emily's soft sobs. I tried to keep it together, but the fear was suffocating. Then finally, I heard it, the unmistakable sound of sirens. The pounding on the door stopped. Through the heavy steel, I could hear voices, then a knock on the panic room door. Mrs. Johnson, this is Officer Rivera. It's safe to come out now. I hesitated for a moment, then slowly opened the door. The hallway was filled with police officers. Mark and Barbara were being handcuffed, both red-faced and furious. "You can't do this. She's lying," Barbara shrieked. An officer approached me. "Ma'am, we'll need to hear that voicemail." With shaking hands, I played the recording. Mark's face went pale as Barbara's voice echoed through the hallway, detailing their plan to kidnap Emily. "Mark Johnson, Barbara Johnson, you're under arrest for attempted kidnapping," the officers said as they were led away. Mark's eyes met mine, cold and threatening. "This isn't over, Sarah. I'll get her back." I held Emily tighter, my heart hammering in my chest, but I knew the worst was behind us. For now, at least, we were safe. I knew this was just the beginning of a long battle. "Mommy," Emily whispered, her little arms tightening around my neck. "Can we go get ice cream?" I laughed, tears still glistening in my eyes. "Yeah, baby, we can get all the ice cream you want." The weeks after that terrifying night were a whirlwind. Rachel, my lawyer and guardian angel, led me through the endless maze of legal battles. We were in and out of courtrooms, filing motions, presenting evidence, and building our case. "Your Honor," Rachel argued one afternoon, standing tall and confident, "given the severity of the attempted kidnapping, we're requesting full custody for my client." Mark's lawyer, trying to paint me as a paranoid mother, threw everything he could at us. But that voicemail, Barbara's incriminating words, was undeniable. I'll never forget the sound of the judge's gavel as he delivered the ruling that changed everything. "In light of recent events, full custody is granted to Sarah Johnson. Mr. Johnson's visitation rights are hereby revoked pending further evaluation." Outside the courtroom, Rachel hugged me tightly. "We did it, Sarah. You're safe now." But I knew it wasn't truly over. Barbara's trial for conspiracy to commit kidnapping was still on the horizon, and Mark was facing his own charges: attempted breaking and entering violating court orders. The legal mess was far from sorted, but one thing was clear: Emily was safe with me. Both Emily and I started therapy soon after. Dr. Martinez, our therapist, was patient and kind, helping us navigate the emotional fallout from what had happened. "I keep having nightmares," I confessed in one of my sessions. "In them, I see Mark and Barbara taking Emily, and I'm frozen. I can't move." "That's normal, Sarah," Dr. Martinez reassured me. "You've been through a trauma. We'll work through it together." Slowly but surely, we started to heal. Emily's nightmares became less frequent, and I found myself throwing everything I had into my work. The focus was almost therapeutic in itself. "Sarah, you've really stepped up your game," my boss David remarked one day. "Clients are requesting you specifically. They say your determination inspires them." And life went on. We built new routines, made new memories. Before I knew it, Emily's 6th birthday was fast approaching, and the house was buzzing with excitement. The day of the party, our backyard was filled with laughter, the air thick with the sugary smell of cake. Kids ran around with painted faces, giggling and squealing as they played. Lisa, ever the reliable friend, helped me hang the last of the decorations. "Can you believe it's been a year?" she asked, adjusting a balloon. I shook my head, watching Emily chase her friends, her giggles carrying on the breeze. Sometimes it feels like yesterday, other times like a lifetime ago. Just then, the TV inside caught my attention. The local news was covering Mark's sentencing. The anchor's voice was calm, but the words hit hard. In local news, Mark Johnson was sentenced to 5 years for his role in the attempted kidnapping of his daughter. His mother, Barbara Johnson, faces trial next month. "Mom, come play with us." Emily's voice broke through, pulling me back to the present. I smiled and joined the kids' game, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. We had been through hell, but we'd come out stronger. Emily was safe, happy, and surrounded by love. We had made it through. But before I let you go, I want to ask, if you were in my shoes, would you ever consider letting Mark or Barbara back into Emily's life? Maybe after they've served their time, if they showed real change? Or would you keep that door shut forever? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And hey, if you enjoyed this wild ride, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life drama. Trust me, my story's far from over, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.